Welcome to the latest Acuity development update. I am the founder and lead developer, Jonathan Brown. And if you're not already aware, we are building a fully decentralized atomic swap interchain cryptocurrency exchange. So the idea with this exchange is that you'll be able to trade cryptocurrencies between many different blockchains. You'll be able to trade the ERC20 tokens, for example, and then there's no central authority that's controlling these exchanges. So we're getting pretty close to launch. So we have our own Acuity blockchain, so that's based on Substrate, and then you're going to be able to trade that against Ethereum. But the problem we have is that the fees on Ethereum will be far too big, so it might cost $100 to actually make a trade. So the solution is to move to layer 2. So there's a few different projects on Ethereum that are implementing layer 2. There's Optimism and Arbitrum. And we're actually going to proceed with initially launching on Arbitrum. So whenever we launch the minimum viable product, you'll be able to trade Acuity versus Ethereum on Arbitrum. So what I'm going to show you today is just give you a little bit of information about Arbitrum and also give you a demo of trading Test Arbitrum with Test Acuity. Okay, so on Arbitrum, we have a public testnet, and this is based on the Ethereum Rinkeby testnet. So if you have Rinkeby ETH, then this can then be converted into Arbitrum testnet ETH, and they have a bridge to help you with this. So for example, you can convert your layer 1 into layer 2, and then you can convert it back again. But if you, whenever you initially convert it into layer 2, this can happen quite quickly, just in a few minutes. But to send it back again, it can take more than 2 weeks. So a good use case for our exchange is actually once we enable the Ethereum blockchain on the exchange, you'll be able to trade directly between Arbitrum and Ethereum, which will make it it'll make it possible to withdraw your ETH from Arbitrum back to layer 1 Ethereum much more quickly than going through the Arbitrum withdrawal process. Okay, so the testnet has some configuration settings here. So if you go into your MetaMask, for example, you can add network and then put in this configuration information, and you will have access to the Arbitrum testnet. And we can see here, I just have 2 accounts, Alice and Bob, and these both have Rinkeby testnet ETH on the Arbitrum testnet. Okay, so I'm going to give you a short demo of actually selling some Arbitrum testnet ETH for Acuity testnet. Okay, so we're going to start with Alice. So we're going to sell some of Alice's test ETH. Okay, 0.01, so she can afford that. And then we want to specify her buy account. So this is Alice's Acuity account to receive the payment for anyone who buys this ETH. And then we can specify the price that she wants to be paid. So for example, for 1 ETH, maybe we want 4,000 Acuity, something like that. Okay, so we're going to make the sell order. So this will broadcast a transaction to the Arbitrum test network. So it will lock up her 0.01 test ETH. Okay, so we can see that sell order right here. So we're going to go into that sell order, and now we're going to take on the role as a buyer. So we'll switch to Bob the buyer. So Bob has some Acuity, and he wishes to spend that Acuity to get some of Alice's ETH. So we can say how much he wants to purchase. So let's say 0.008. Okay, so Bob submits a transaction to the Acuity testnet. And we can see that that works out at 32 Acuity that he has locked up to perform this trade. Okay, so now the next thing that needs to happen is Alice needs to come along and lock up the ETH that Bob wants to buy. So currently this ETH is in the sell order, and Alice is going to create a lock specifically for this trade. So the ETH will be transferred from the sell order into this lock. So we click on this button, and I'll just bring that into view. So she just pays the gas fee for that transaction. And it's already been confirmed on the Arbitrum testnet. So we can see that we now have the funds on both sides of the transaction are locked up. So we have the test Ether is locked up in the smart contract on the Arbitrum blockchain, and the Acuity is locked up in the Acuity testnet. So the next step is we need to Bob wants to come along and take his ETH. So Bob knows the secret and Alice doesn't. So Bob is going to come in and take his ETH, and then that will release the Acuity for Alice to take. Okay, so Bob will send this transaction into the smart contract, and will so that's been unlocked. And then we can see Bob has the updated balance. So Bob has received the Ethereum, and then the next step is just for Alice to come and retrieve her Acuity. Okay, and so that has been unlocked. And if we just look at the event on the Acuity testnet, so we can see that the funds have been transferred to Alice. Okay, so you can see how this is all coming together pretty well. So we have a few rough edges to iron out, but we're getting there. So we'll be able to launch with Acuity trading against Ethereum on the Arbitrum blockchain. And then we'll be able to add many more blockchains, add support for the tokens, and also be able to make the user interface much better. So thank you all for listening, and talk to you all again very soon.